Hi and welcome to my coverage of e-earphones Fukuoka Headphone Festival. Well, actually it's their portable festival. While they're based in Osaka and Tokyo, they do travel around the country to major cities and hold these mini events. And one happens to be in my city, so I spent a couple of hours checking out some of the gear that I'd kind of missed while in Tokyo, maybe because it was too busy or I just ran out of time or just forgot. So with that, here's some of the interesting gear I saw while I was there. First up, Musashi make a number of accessories, including these very funky cases. Now, IEM cases with the center part are very handy, but what if you can remove the center part and move it off to one side? That's very handy if you have custom IEMs, for example, which can be very bulky. They also have little pockets for things like tips and what have you. The larger of their cases also has inserts, so you can carry multiple IEMs or IEMs even and portable players and other equipment in there. It's most readily visible if you see the largest of their cases, which he shows here, which has accessories in it. The internal lid contains straps, but look here, he's got 4 pairs of IEMs and a portable player, so you can see how it works really well. And of course they're readily adjustable, though not as neat as the Van Nuys cases, which have the nicest Velcro adjustment of cases that I've seen. But check out this internal lid, which contains the straps. They're all held in by these elastic loops, which are on one side only. It makes it very easy to take them in and out, and the lid itself hooks onto the bottom of the case, so an opening doesn't go everywhere. Now, on the top lid, they have little pockets for things like tips, which is very handy, so you can put those and carry them with you, or maybe micro SD cards or other bits and pieces. And they also have a zip pocket in the lid, so you can put in maybe something like your charger and other bits and pieces as you need. Uniquely, they also have cases for Bluetooth headphone systems, which is the first that I've seen. They also have many cases for things like portable players, ranging from clear cases through to funky plastic cases and leather cases. They also had some funky 4.4mm adapter cables, which was very handy. You can also see rings there for sticking on the back of a phone or DAP for finger rings. And there are some leather cases as well. So that's Musashi, and I don't know their entire range and where exactly to buy them, but I thought that I like bags and accessories like that, so that was pretty cool. Ultrasone had the Veritas version of the Edition 15 on display. These are a closed-back version of the Edition 15s. Now, I had a listen to the Edition 15s, and they're fairly even-sounding headphones without as much bass as I usually expect from Ultrasone. But the Veritas were kind of uneven-sounding, having even less bass, but more kind of upper mid sound, which sounded really off balance. So it was a very odd kind of listening experience, and they didn't isolate very well. So I don't know if they were kind of trying to make a pair of portable headphones, but even though I thought the Edition 15 sounded reasonably good, the Veritas were kind of, odd. And I wasn't hearing much detail out of either of them out of my Cord Hugo 2. Korg had their new one DAC and headphone amp on display. Now this uses a AKM flagship DAC and also uses their new tube, and the unique feature of it is that you can switch the new tube in and out. So with the button next to that little light there, you can actually turn the new tube on and off. And not only that, using a control, you can control the amount of negative feedback going to the tube, so how much even order harmonic distortion you get. And that distortion, of course, is what makes things like tube amp sound kind of euphoric. So it was nice being able to switch it. So it's either analog or it has its own DAC in there. And it was connected via the balance connector, as you can see on the right, to a pair of HD800s. And, well, it sounded pretty reasonably good, I thought. Now, they also had on display a portable DIY new tube amp. This amp was powered off a couple of AA batteries, and since the new tubes are very low power, and I thought this would be pretty cool. I wonder how much they sell them for. And I was looking over at the shop, and it turned out to be about $200, or it was 24,000 yen. I sat down and had a listen to the Stax portables, including the SRM2, which I don't think is sold overseas, and the SRM D10, which is. And while the SRM2 seemed to have run out of power and seemed to be a bit distorting, I don't know if the batteries were a bit low, the D10 was quite nice sounding. The problem with the portables is that they are no isolation, which is kind of silly for IEMs in a sense, but with a little cups they have now designed for them, they can make them enclosed, and this kind of changes the sound though. The problem is that the minimum size tips that they have are kind of even a little bit large for my ears, and I take a medium tip in general. And it's kind of hard to make out exactly what the changes in the sound were, but I reckon it would be the ideal kind of rig for someone sitting at a desk where they have to hear what's going on around them, and they want some good quality but quiet music going on, playing in kind of the pseudo background. And for that, their kind of delicate sound was really great. You're not going to get thumping bass, but you are going to get some really nice precision sound. Lastly, Final had their B series on display, and the B1 was the flagship of these. It's kind of equivalent to a Campfire Audio Polaris, kind of around the same price, and it uses one dynamic driver and one balanced armature driver, and had a very kind of similar sound signature actually. Very strong bass, very strong treble, kind of V-shaped in sound. Not quite entirely to my taste, but check out the bling on these things. These things are super shiny, and certainly the shape is unique, and they certainly do look the part for high-end IEMs. So I hope you enjoyed my quick coverage of some extra bits from the Fukuoka e-earphone portable festival, and so thank you very much for watching the video. If you did like my video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, there'll be more coming soon. If you do want to support making these videos, do consider signing up as a supporter. For the equivalent of buying me a coffee once in a while, you can get to see all these videos in advance. My supporters have already seen this, and they don't have to see ads. So do consider that. And thanks once again, and I'll see you online.